Deal. All right, here we go. I'm going to take control of your computers so that I can show you exactly what we are working on. You should now all be looking at my screen. Some of you are not, so let me try again. There we go. What's up with that? It's goofy. Hey, thanks. We'll try one more time. Oh, the computer's like, it's taking a break on me. Okay, here we go. I need you guys to lock in because first hour, they told me they were locked in. They were not locked in. And as a result, there was like 13 hands that went up right after I was done with the lessons. Like, oh, what do we do? All right, so listen very closely. You got me? Tate? You got me? Okay, here we go. So first step today, you are going to have to get a file. You'll need a file from me. So what you will do is you will open up Google Chrome and you will go and navigate your way to Canvas to our video productions page. Okay? So far so good? The reason that you have to get this particular file is I've already gone to the liberty of deleting the background for you, and this is a good file that I want you to use. So on our Canvas page, you will click on Files, and you will find the file that is titled SeaWorld Logo right here, and you will download that file. Okie doke? Are we clear so far? Downloading a file. I like to open the file, or the folder that the file is in, and make sure it's there. Number one, open up a new tab, and this file is going to go in my SeaWorld project. I cannot have it in my downloads folder. I have to put it in my SeaWorld project. Some of you will not listen to this instruction, and at some point during your navigation of this SeaWorld project, you will get that red screen of death that says media offline. So it is crucial that you follow this step. You have your downloads folder. Over here, I'm going to open my SeaWorld's project folder. Remember, if you can't find it, you click on Documents and then the up arrow, and that takes you to your desktop. And you want to find your SeaWorld project folder. You can drag it anywhere you want down in here. Okay, so just drag it in and drop it. So I have SeaWorld, and then I have my SeaWorld logo in that SeaWorld folder. Everybody got that? Are we clear so far? Great. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the project that I have been working on. Mo, how come you're still not in the seat? Let's go. So my project I've been working on is SeaWorld. If you have trouble locating it, you've done something wrong because you should be able to open up your SeaWorld project folder. In my case, it's on my X drive, and go to my projects folder because we are nice and organized, and it should be right there. Okay, so you'll open it up. Some of you will have things in your timeline, some of you will not. But this week, you need to start developing your timeline because this is due this week. All right, now, once I get to this screen, let's go back out to my SeaWorld folder, okay? And I'm gonna find that logo that I downloaded, this SeaWorld logo, and I'm gonna go ahead and drag it in to my project. So there you go. I now have my SeaWorld logo in my project. Okay, what we are gonna learn today is how to make animations. Last week we did transitions, and transitions were cool when we go from like A roll to B roll or an interview or something like that. Those were transitions. You can transition also with a logo. Let me show you an example. Let's say that I want this clip right here in my Believe folder to be my establishing shot. Remember, my establishing shot, maybe I want this clip. All right, my establishing shot welcomes the viewer to my project. And it just basically says, hey, this is about SeaWorld. We're going to learn about trainers and orcas and all kinds of stuff. This is the clip I want to use. So I drag it into my timeline. Voila. Now, back out to where my logo is. I want my logo in my project. So I'm going to drag it from my folders over here, from my project panel. And I'm going to drag it in. Okay. So right now I have a logo. if you'll notice, over my establishing shot. When I play it, that's my logo. Pretty boring, right? It's just there and then it disappears. I want something a little fancier. First of all, I want to make it a little bit longer. Let's take it out to 8 seconds. Okay? So you can drag your clip. This is a graphic, the logo that you brought in. You can drag this and make it as long as you want. It's up to you how long you do it. Don't make it awkwardly long. Don't make it so it's just a flash in the pan where it's this short. Bye. Okay? So it's up to you how long you make it, but drag it out. I'm going to make mine 8 seconds so we have time to see what I'm doing with it today. Now, we did transitions last week. Remember, you can add transitions to this. It's up to you. If you come to effects and video transitions, you can add those same dissolves and stuff we did last week to this logo. Just drag them in, and voila, you have a dissolve there, which looks a little more interesting than just disappearing. If you'll notice, I'm going to mute my audio so I don't have to keep listening to it over and over. All right, now it dissolves out. That looks a little better, right? So a transition is an option that you can do with your logos and your graphics that you have. That's what we learned last week. But I want an animation. I want my logo to do something fun or fancy. I want it to move. I don't just want it to dissolve. So I am working with my graphic only. So I need to make sure that this is selected. That's key number one. My graphic, this purple timeline piece of media asset, is selected. It's got the white box around it. When I do that, up here you'll see Effect Controls. When you click on Effect Controls, here are the options that you have for this particular graphic. Okay, first thing I want to show you is motion. That means my graphic will be moving. When I drop this arrow right here down, it gives me a bunch of different options that I can have. So, from this point forward, listen very closely, okay? You have now a mini timeline up here. This mini timeline is only the length that this graphic is in your main timeline since it's selected. So from the start to the finish, that's the mini timeline. Since we are working with only that graphic, that's what we want to focus on now is this mini timeline. I want it to move, so I've clicked motion. Right now, it's right in the middle of the screen. I don't want it in the middle of the screen. I want it to come from maybe the side, the left or right side. So I have my marker at the very beginning. I'm going to take my position of the graphic and I'm going to take it out to the left-hand side. You can't see it anymore, correct? That's where I want my graphic to start. It's still there. It's just like right here off the screen. So that's where I want it to start at the beginning of the clip. So I'm going to hit this stopwatch. Boom. If you'll notice, it's still here. It's off to the side of the screen. It's given me right here what's called a keyframe, and it's telling me that's where it's starting. Now, I want, by the 4-second mark, I want that graphic to be in the middle of the screen. So now I am at the 4-second mark. I'm going to change the position so that the graphic is now in the middle of the screen. If you'll notice, it's given me a nice little path here, straight across the screen, right to the middle. All these are keyframes, so every little frame has a new keyframe. It's telling the program where I want that graphic to be at each one of those keyframes. So now when I look over here on my mini timeline, I have another keyframe right here. And you can drag this marker back to the beginning, and you'll notice when I press play, my SeaWorld graphic comes in from the side. And it stops right where I told it to stop, and it stays there until the end of this frame, and it disappears. That's how long it's in my main timeline. So if I wanted to move, that's how I would do it. That's the position. You can change the position. You could have it come in from, let's say at the start, I want it to be way up here and come in from the top left. Now when I press, it's coming in top left. Okay? Let's say I want this keyframe at the end. I want it to be way down here at the bottom right. All right? Now when I do it, it's going to go from the top left to the bottom right. So you have the ability to move it wherever you want. And I didn't get that keyframe right on the end, so it popped back to the center. Okay? So if I want motion, I click on the motion tab and I look at position. I don't want that anymore. Let's get rid of those. Let's delete those keyframes. I don't want motion anymore. Maybe I do. I decided I wanted something different. So I'm going to uncheck that and get rid of all my keyframes. All right. But if you'll notice, my SeaWorld graphic is still off to the side. So let's put it back to the beginning. All right. So now I want scale. Scale is how big your graphic is. Right now I'm at the beginning of my timeline. I want it right in the middle of my screen. Okay. But I want it to start very, very small. Almost so small you can't even see it. Okay. So that's where I would start. Beginning of the timeline, I start at 0% scale. I click my stopwatch, and then up to the 4-second mark, I drag my marker, and I want it full size. Maybe even bigger than full size. Let's take up the full screen. Boom, SeaWorld. So now I have a second keyframe. The one at the beginning was at 0%. The one at the 4-second mark is 143%. Okay, now when I press, it comes in. That's scale. Got it? Cool. So now you have position, which is this, where it's at on the screen. You have scale, its size. Let's play with something else. I not only want it to go from 0% to 143, I want it also to rotate. So let's click on rotation. I'm back at the beginning where it's at 0%. I have rotation. Let's go like negative 180. Let's go even further. Let's go negative 360 or negative 0. That makes no sense. Negative 360-ish. Okay, so 358. And then when I get to that 4-second mark, I want it to be at its normal 0%, right? You can click on that and change it to 0. So now watch what happens. Not only, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't click my stopwatch. So I wanted it at negative 3, roughly 360. Click the stopwatch to put a keyframe in. Now I have a keyframe down here for a rotation. Take it to the 4-second mark, roughly where it's stopping. All right, and change that to 0. And then it has another keyframe. So now watch what happens when I start it. What do you think it's going to do? It's not only going to change the size, it's also going to rotate. So you could do multiple motions here in this motion effects panel. You can have an anchor point where you want it to end up. You can have it cropped, which means it not only spins in, but also it crops at the 0 mark. And then it changes all the way to 100% where it crops out. That would look hideous, not going to lie. You can change all kinds of stuff. All right, so there you go. But I also want to look at something other than motion. Let's look at opacity. Opacity, guys, is how well I can see through it. You can throw boxes over it that are control opacity. So there, I don't know, like there's examples of good reasons why you'd want to do that. I don't want to mess with that right now. I just want the overall opacity. So when I start at the beginning, I want my opacity to be 0, meaning you can't see it. It's invisible. All right, and then we get to that 4-second mark. I want it to fade into 100%, meaning I can see it. So then that's what I got. So now it has all of the motion and also opacity. If you'll notice, it'll come from fading into nothing, and it didn't come in at all. Where did it go? Oh, no. Let's start over. I'm going to delete all my keyframes so I can show you opacity. All right, opacity. There's my SeaWorld graphic. It's back. Opacity. Oh, did I not click the stopwatch? When I click the stopwatch, it's at 100%. And then when I get to this, I want it to fade out to 0. Okay, so now when I start, it'll fade out. That takes a long time to fade out. That's kind of awkward. I maybe want it to go faster. So I move that keyframe in. So now it dissolves quicker. You can also add your transitions. Let's do the dissolve here. So now you'll see it. It kind of fades away in blocks where it's dissolving out. You could do that. So that's opacity, is how well you can see through it. Time remapping, you could do that. How fast it goes. All right. This one's a tough one to play with because when you start, you'll have to play with this one because it's how quickly the effect takes place. So this is your goal today, is to bring in this logo, okay, and add some sort of motion or opacity effect to it so that you can have your logo coming in some unique way to you. Don't do exactly what your neighbor's doing. Figure out something that's unique to you. There's a bunch of different things you can play with here. I told you at the beginning, a lot of Premiere Pro is just playing with it and seeing what you can do with it. So your goal today, now you should be working on your project in a way where there's things in your timeline and you can start working on it. Today, you're taking this graphic in, all right? Is that clear? Control S when you're done so that you can save what you're working on and you'll have time the rest of the hour to do it. Where are you getting your graphic from? Canvas. Download it. Where are you putting it? What folder? SeaWorld folder. Any questions?